Welcome into another edition of Argo Sports Insider here from the University of West Florida in Pensacola, Florida. I'm Will Kennedy. I'm joined to start off the show by Coach Jeff Burkhamer from the UWF men's basketball team. Every program we like to highlight all that's going on here at UWF and the successes of our teams and our student athletes on and off the court and the field. Well, Coach, you guys are into your season, stopping and starting and figuring things out. And normally by this point of the season, we've played a lot of games. You guys are just 5 games in. And the season continues to roll on, and again, you're feeling your way through a little bit in an unusual circumstance.
No doubt, definitely feeling our way through it day to day, just kind of seeing what comes up that day. But it's still been good. Guys are having a chance to work out and practice and getting some games in, and we just have to see who we're going to play next and when we're going to play them.
Yeah, again, we always want you to check GoArgos.com, the Argo Armada app, because the schedule is a moving target a little bit from time to time. With your team, and we talked about it last semester in the fall, and we've talked about it here heading into the spring, you're changing the way you do things a little bit. You brought in a lot of new players, and for many intents and purposes, that can be almost like starting over again with the program in some ways.
Well, we're still a young team. And you look out there the other night, we got 3 freshmen on the court at one point, and guys are still learning. We're still figuring out exactly what we're doing on both sides of the ball, but we are getting better, and hopefully we'll continue to improve as the year goes.
I know you very much always want to protect the home court. You guys are coming off of a tough loss here over the weekend previous, on the home court, and that's something I know you preach to your kids about. We got to win the games here in the field house.
Yeah, we want to win home games, and you got to find a way to win home games. You got to find a way to win some of your road games, and you got to win the games you're supposed to win. So that game was a little bit disappointing. We thought we could win that game. It was hard fought back and forth, and they made a run late in the game, and we didn't, and ended up losing the game because of that.
West Georgia was in for that game that Coach is referencing, and I know it's very early with just 5 games played, but it's a 20-game schedule this season, and it's all conference opponents. And I know you guys had looked, and Valdosta had lost the game, and so I know, are you feeling pressure when you look at the standings and the team as well, even though it's just 5 games in?
Well, every game's important, and like you said, take care of yourself at home because you got to go on the road for some of those games. But Valdosta is a very good team, and they ended up losing twice to Lee at Valdosta over the weekend. Now we turn around and go to Lee this weekend. So every game's tough, every game's important, and you got to be ready to play.
That is one thing about the Gulf South Conference. We say this, I think, in almost any sport, how competitive the leagues can be, and that if you don't bring your best any given night, it doesn't matter who the opponent is.
It really doesn't matter. You better be ready to play that night. And I tell our team all the time, it's the team that plays the best that 40 minutes because anyone can beat anybody. You better be ready to play. You see it all over the country right now from game to game, and one day apart, a team will win by 2 and the next night lose by 38. It's just crazy how some of these things have gone this year. And you just got to be ready to play every day.
You mentioned going to play Lee. That is what's up next for your team. What are you working on? I mean, we've talked on the broadcast and stuff about trying to get tougher, and I know that's a tough thing to do in practice sometimes to translate that to the game.
Well, I think defensively, right now we're behind where we need to be. Offensively, we're scoring enough points, I think, to win. But we do have to clamp down a little bit better defensively, better in transition, and when we get in half court, make it tougher for them to score. We're not going to hold anybody scoreless, but you want to make it tough to score. You want to make them shoot overhand, give them one shot. And if they beat you doing that, then they just beat you. But we got to get a little bit better on the defensive end.
I have a son who's the same age as many of your players. In fact, went to high school with one of your players, Tate Mulkey. And I think about, consistency of effort and whether it's on the field or the classroom and trying to get him into that mode. Sometimes I think we have to remember these are young kids.
They are, and they're going through strange things right now, strange times, and they're dealing with a lot of different things. But you're right, you hit it on the head. Consistency is one of the things we're talking about, whether it be from play to play, practice to practice, game to game, being very good in defense and rebounding are 2 things that should be consistent. You're going to have nights where you don't shoot the ball well. We've had a couple of those already, but we've still been in position maybe to win the game. And your defense and rebounding have to carry you at that point.
Basketball is one of those things early in the season, especially where you go to Lee, you get 2 wins, and then it kind of flips everything around, doesn't it?
It would. You go to Lee and win 2 games, you feel pretty good coming home after that trip.
Well, Coach, good luck to you and the team on the road, taking on Lee next, and we'll look forward to seeing those highlights and look forward to having you back in the field house here soon.
Great. Thanks, Will.
Coming up next here on the program, we will check in on women's basketball with Coach Stephanie Lawrence Yelton right here on Argo Sports Insider.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal.
What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
The Florida Lottery is proud to support education by contributing billions of dollars to Florida schools and awarding countless Bright Future scholarships so Florida students can do more than just dream of a brighter future. They can create one. Learn more at flalottery.com.
What does Argo Spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
This portion of Argo Sports Insider is brought to you by Penn Air Federal Credit Union, Jenny King, Hill Kelly Dodge, High Point Hotel Group, and the Florida Lottery.
Welcome back into Argo Sports Insider. Time to talk women's basketball with head coach Stephanie Lawrence Yelton. The Argos, you had a game scheduled for this week, and as we've been talking about here on the program, things move around awful quickly. So an unexpected time off, getting ready to play coming up this weekend as we're taping this, and I know it'd be good to get back on the court.
It will be nice to play against another opponent. I mean, I think that's really what we're missing right now. We're getting practice time in, but it's really hard to evaluate our growth and maturity without going against the outside opponent. Now, we've got our hands, full coming up this weekend with in a top 25 ranked league opponent. And so, but I think that's going to be good for us.
Coach, with Lee coming in, you get to play them back to back, and that can be a good measuring stick and a good way to kind of find out how you make adjustments quickly.
Yeah, our last back-to-back was against Montevallo, which is a really good team. Friday night, we just, we're really a no-show. Offensive and defensively didn't play well against them. I really came in and challenged the team after that game and did some mental prep work going into the second game, and we saw a much better result. Now, we didn't win the game, but we saw a much better playing product than what we saw the night before. So I'm encouraged about playing those back-to-back games to see what adjustments we can make and how our team will continue to compete on that second day.
And you really were able to take some momentum out of that second game against Montevallo on the Saturday and then take that on the road and kind of get a win, and so that's a good thing. Coach, Yelton is on win number 199, right? Am I right here, career-wise? So you got the opportunity. How sweet would it be to get that at home against a team, as you mentioned, that's highly thought of and ranked as league?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anytime you're meeting those milestones, it doesn't matter who the opponent you're going against. But it would be nice to get it here, in our field house, which, West Florida has been an amazing, program for me, has given a lot to my family, and so to have that 200th career win happening at home would be very nice.
You said something to me, I think, after the first Montevallo game that I found really interesting, and that was, the success that you've had here, and you kind of told your team, like, hey, a couple of years ago, we were in the position where we were kind of handing out some of these scores, and we were on the upper end of it, and, so now it's a competitive league, obviously, in the Gulf South Conference, and teams, they're looking to get some revenge.
Oh, yeah, it's those days of, we used to hand out those big scores of beating people by 20 and 30 points, and now that's kind of flipped a little bit. Our league has gotten stronger. We've got some great coaches in our league. We've got some amazing players in our league. And, we are still growing after those championship, years for us. We are still trying to grow and develop. And we've still got some young, inexperienced kids on our team. So when teams step in, we're getting their A game. They're not hanging back. They're not thinking that, we are one of the bottom teams in the league. They really view that West Florida name, not only from women's basketball, the respect that we've gotten from women's basketball, from all of our sports at West Florida. And we carry that flag in every sport when we compete. So teams really want to beat us.
They got to walk through the field house lobby
That's
where they're
right.
shooting and see trophies and stuff, and then they want to come in here and make a point. Your last game when you were out on the road, you pick up the win, and I thought you got some good performances. Alex Heyman, you mentioned her as a freshman really starting to come on, and then some of the names that you know a little bit more, and your Danielle Norquist and your Charlotte Elmore, and Peyton Lewis shooting the ball well too.
Yeah, Peyton Lewis is really coming on strong. She was one of our players that had a lot of stoppage time early in the season and just doesn't have a lot of practices under her belt. So now that she's getting in a more consistent flow in practice, we're seeing her develop exponentially, and she has the ability to get better very quickly. I think another player we need to look at is Amira Newsom. She's coming in off the bench. She's a freshman for us, but she brings a different element that our other post players don't bring. And I think she's playing very good basketball right now. So we're excited about where some of those new players are coming in and making an impact.
Well, good luck with Lee coming in here for a Friday, Saturday here, kind of late January at home. So nice to play at home, and then you guys will be out on the road, I think, for the next weekend after that. So we're looking forward to that. You can always catch the broadcast of the home games on Cox Sports Television with our partners at Your View, and we stream them through Go Argos as well. So, Coach, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Coming up next year on the program, it's time to start talking about baseball and softball. We'll go down to the fork and the spoon and check in with those two programs right here on Argo Sports Insider.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby, got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before, you know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
We've delivered hot, fresh, made-to-order burgers to your table every day since 1950. Now, we're just delivering them a little farther. Right to your front door. Guess you could call them special deliveries. Delivery has arrived at Whataburger. Use our app or order at whataburger.com.
Welcome back into Argo Sports Insider out here in the beautiful January Florida sunshine with UWF head baseball coach Mike Jeffcoat. We got a perfect day for this thing here. You guys are ready to get on the field and get this thing going.
It's beautiful out here, and the guys, all of us, so excited. It's kind of been a unique year all the way around, but because we not having spring break and adding this week to the holiday break, we don't start school till next week, and when you're out of school, you don't have an hour limitation. You don't have class to worry about. So we were able to do some offense and then defense in the afternoon and let the guys get some lunch, and so the flexibility's been awesome.
Yeah, it's almost like a mini camp before you get things rolling.
Yeah.
You guys, what an unusual situation. You kind of touched on it there. You guys are getting your season, really kind of still getting it going last year, and then things shut down with COVID, and the world kind of, goes wild for a little bit, and you have had a fall to kind of get a look at what you've got and kind of get eased back into this thing. How's it been, some of the things you mentioned, wearing masks and the safety precautions and in your preparation and getting a team ready? How different has that been?
It's different. I mean, it's just another thing on your checklist to remind because it's tough, and none of us are used to wearing these things, and especially when you're out there running around and right when you come back in the dugout, pull the mask back on. Guys are going to forget. They're getting some water. They're getting better with their habits, and that's a good thing as long as we've been doing it, just like this thing sliding off me right now. I feel like constantly do that, but making sure they're on with the mask on around the dugouts and all that in close proximity. But with our sporters, you can see you got some spacing, so it allows us to really be able to do things we need to do, and when they're in full speed, we can pull the mask off.
You've been doing this a long time, your staff as well. I mean, how excited are you to get back to it, and how excited are these players to get back into the swing of things?
I think if it's in your blood and it's been in your heart all your life, you just there's a piece missing and you don't realize it, and with anything in life, when it's been taken away, certainly if you do the right thing and you're thinking the right way, then you're appreciating it more. And that's what I've talked to our guys a lot about. Certainly it's impacted me, my coaches, you, everybody. If we don't take this as a way to appreciate what we have, love the ones we have near us, appreciate the time we get to play the game and the opportunity to have, you know, the lifestyle we were living. So I think that all helps all of us be more in line with what we need to do to be able to continue normal living.
Games start not too far away. February 5th, you guys will be right here at the Spoon playing some baseball. Let's talk about this team a little bit. What do you got, you know, to get out there on the field here in a short manner of time?
Yeah, well, we got a lot of guys back. We lost some key guys, as we talked before, with on the mound and behind the plate. But you got a lot of returners starting outfield back and most of the infield back. And, you know, you just got a lot of younger, inexperienced pitchers now. They're going to have to step up. They have the ability, but they got to get their feet wet pretty quick. A lot of things we don't know and how we deal with it. We just got to flow with it. As long as I think we put the kids' health and staff and everybody's health first, we'll figure out a way to get it done. And I think as soon as they say go, I hope my Argos are ready to go.
Who are you leaning on as far as the experienced guys that you got come back to kind of be team leaders?
Man, you know, the great thing about the COVID, and there's always positives that you can spin, is that's given guys another year that wouldn't have had it, even though the year was kind of cut off. He's a year older. We got grad assistants out here nearly. I mean, they're working on their masters. They're 23, 24 years old. And we got a lot of guys like that were here last year. They understand, they appreciate, they're mature. They're going to make sure guys are where they're supposed to be and on time. And our freshman class has been phenomenal. They've been a lot more mature than their years, and they've jumped on board. And I think all kids want a little bit of that structure and discipline. And if you stay with it and consistent with it, then they end up liking it, you know.
Well, coming up here, February 5th, first game, and as Coach mentioned, keep an eye, goargos.com, because that schedule is a moving target a little bit. Things may change and move around. Conference is always tough, and you mentioned, you know, the measure for success may move a little bit, but we're looking forward to watching you guys play. Yeah.
And I'd say to all the fans, you know, still stay with us, hang with us. We don't know what the fan protocol quite yet is going to be. It's going to be limited to start the season, but we hope we can get through it, and any way we can get y'all out here. We're going to try to stream it live, right? And get everybody just like you would, like we've been doing. So
people tell me they're really ready to come back out and watch some sports. So we appreciate it, Mike. Thanks a lot. And we'll look forward to you guys playing February 5th. Coming up next here on the show, we'll check in just across the way over at the Fork with Coach Ashliegh McLean and UWF softball on Argo Sports Insider.
What does Argo spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby, got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before, you know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
This portion of Argo Sports Insider is brought to you by Coca-Cola, Baptist Healthcare and the Andrews Institute, Publix, Whataburger, and CPC Office Technologies.
Welcome back into Argo Sports Insider. We've got a perfect January day here at the Fork, and we're joined by UWF softball coach Ashliegh McLean to talk about, finally, the season is upon us. It's been a while. You guys were in midstream, you know, kind of getting your season underway last year. COVID comes along, had to shut it down. It's been a long journey to get to here, but how excited are you to be playing again?
We're so excited. You know, we've been waiting for this day to come and praying that we would actually get to do it since COVID's still around. And now it's a countdown. We officially have our first game scheduled for home, so we're excited.
Last time we talked with you here on the show, you're pretty excited about your team coming out of the fall. You've had a chance to sleep on that a little bit. Are you still feeling that way?
I'm super excited. It's kind of nerve-wracking knowing that they were coming here, and then they had that long break again because we had to add on spring break at the beginning of January. And so with that, it was like, okay, are they going to, do their part? And they did. They're looking really good right now. Our team's coming together, and but every little piece is starting to come together, our little puzzle.
I think as a coach, you love to have that nice mix and that blend of veterans and experience and talent, and then the newcomers that are coming in, because the experienced players can kind of help lead that new group in. You've got a little bit of that. Let's talk about those that are returning for you. You've got some really solid players, whether it's Tila or Mika or Jackie. I mean, you're loaded there.
Yeah, we have a super strong senior group. We have 2 kids returning that were seniors last year that are helping in. But our junior class is just as strong. Half of them started their freshman year at the World Series. So we have a very strong upperclassmen this year, so it's exciting.
What about some of the new faces that we'll see coming in?
We have a couple new faces. We have a couple transfers. We just got a mid-semester transfer that we're excited about, and then our freshmen. And they're just trying to mesh and fill in and see where they're at, so we're excited about it.
I know you told me before that pitching is kind of what will drive things where you want to go, hopefully eventually, which is back to the College World Series. Let's talk about this pitching staff a little bit. Same kind of thing. You've got experience there, and you've got some young arms that you can mix in. Deeper than it's been?
No, we only have 3 pitchers this year, and we have 2 returning that pitched at the World Series, Grace and Kelsey, and then we have our freshman Montana. But she's done great. All fall she's very focused. She just hits her spots and gets after it. She's quiet.
For those who maybe don't follow softball as closely and maybe watching the show, different from baseball in the fact that you don't need this gigantic bullpen with all these different arms to come in different situations. You kind of walk the audience through with softball how that can work with 3 pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, we can have 1 pitcher really to throw a whole weekend. You don't want that for their health, but pitchers have unlimited pitches that they can throw in a weekend. And having a small staff makes us closer because it's a team within a team with that. But I'm excited for our staff this year. They're very close. They cheer each other on, and so we'll see how it goes.
Offensively, you've got Tila Howard, who has set the table for you for a couple seasons now with her speed and the things she can do, and that's a great way to get things started offensively. We were watching practice today as we're shooting this. Ball's flying out of the yard. You got a little power in there, too.
We do. We have a lot more power than I think I expected us to have, which is exciting. That means our kids are getting stronger in the weight room and even out here and working on the little things. So Tila Howard, I mean, she's just so fun to watch, and she's only a junior for us. So we're excited for her and see what she's going to do this year.
Let's talk a little bit about the schedule. You guys are playing here shortly. It's a little bit different maybe than it normally is because of teams and the inability to travel in some cases. And it may be a moving target. We've learned that with the other sports, with basketball so far. Things change quickly.
It does, and as I told my team and I'll tell the fans, it's like everything's going to change. If they've been keeping up with basketball, things change in less than 24 hours. So we're going to just go with the flow this spring, and whatever happens, happens. If we get to play, we're going to go all out and play. But we're excited to host here at the Fork, and then have another weekend off, which is going to be weird, and then get back into conference. So we're excited.
When's the first game? Let everybody know.
January 30th, 1 p.m.
And we're still kind of waiting to see on, how many fans can be here and how that's going to look. Hopefully the more the merrier. It's outdoors and we can spread out and all enjoy some UWF softball. Coach, good luck to you. We're looking forward to getting some highlights here on the show.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we'll spend a little time with some of our Argo student athletes right here on Argo Sports Insider.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
The Florida Lottery is proud to support education by contributing billions of dollars to Florida schools and awarding countless Bright Future scholarships so Florida students can do more than just dream of a brighter future. They can create one. Learn more at flalottery.com.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Welcome back into Argo Sports Insider. We are outside is it the natatorium? Is that the correct?
That works.
The correct term?
Aquatic
the
Center,
pool.
natatorium.
It's
Yeah,
the
it works.
pool, the Aquatic Center. We're joined now by Phil Kraus, the head coach here at the University of West Florida for the swimming and diving team. You guys got out on the road, kind of got the semester going, got the season going. Little Mississippi swing, and it went well.
It went very well. Yeah, we shook off some cobwebs and some dust and raced well, and so we were proud of how the girls competed both on the boards and in the water.
I think as a coach, you're kind of always not quite sure with all we've been through, and you and I have talked on the program previously in the last semester about how strange the times are and the different things you're having to do as a coach and as a program. So I'm sure there's a little bit of anxiousness. I'm like, okay, how's this going to look when we jump in the pool?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the first one was a little bit easier. We were, the competition wasn't as great, so we thought, hey, we can mix it up a little bit. We get a chance to kind of really work through our anxieties for ourselves, like, are we able to push through that pain again and all those kind of things. And then Saturday we went to Delta, their big rival, and we knew it was going to be a close meet, so that was a little bit more, nervousness there. But girls came through all the way. They raced well. Smart too. I mean, we had a bunch of smart girls, 3.81 GPA first semester, so they're smart and they're cerebral about how they're doing it. And then on the boards too, divers did great. So.
Swimming is such a tight-knit community, I know, so I imagine it's pretty cool, even though you're going to compete against these other programs, these other teams, and you want to beat them and, all that kind of stuff, the competitiveness. I'm sure just to have everybody back together and have a meet was a big
definitely.
thing.
I think the girls really enjoyed just being on the road again and being able to do something together, because even here we're at practices, but you're all in your own lanes. And we were, very strict on what we did as far as being on the bus and in hotel rooms and things, but they get a chance to go out and, kind of be silly on the road and watch movies and get to do that whole experience that they haven't had since February. So
yeah, back to the life that they came here to experience.
That's right.
What's next for you guys?
So this weekend we head to Birmingham. So I'm in Birmingham Southern both days on Friday and Saturday, and then kind of a mix of teams. I think Millsaps is going to be at both, I think, and then we're going to add in Berry College on Saturday. But there's changing times. We could add another team just to help them make sure they get the number of meets they need for competitions too.
We've said this throughout this show, but every show it's like it's a moving target kind of thing, and so you always check GoArgos.com.
That's right.
And check the Argo Armada app to find out, is that going to happen, or is that going to be moved, or how's that going to work?
That's right. Yeah, our time's changed this weekend already, so but it's already updated. So.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to talking about more victories coming up here on the program. Good luck to you guys coming up in the next meet, and we'll be checking in with Phil and the girls along the way.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching this episode of Argo Sports Insider. Remember, GoArgos.com is the place to check on the schedule, see results, the different features that we do here on the program. We put those on there as well. And also the Argo Armada app has a link to kind of all the social media activities. By the way, your team doing a great job with that and kind of keeping everybody entertained, if nothing else. And we appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time right here on Argo Sports Insider. Go Argos.
Go Argos.